The Harpeth River, 115 miles long, is one of the major streams of north-central Middle Tennessee, United States, and one of the major tributaries of the Cumberland River. Via the Cumberland and the Ohio rivers, it is part of the Mississippi River watershed course. The Harpeth rises in the westernmost part of Rutherford County, Tennessee, just to the east of the community of College Grove in eastern Williamson County. The upper portion of the river has been contaminated to some extent by the operation of a lead smelting plant located near the Kirkland community that recycled used automobile batteries from the 1950s until the 1990s. The stream flows generally westerly into Franklin, the county seat of Williamson County. It has operated as a suburb of Nashville since the 1960s. The Harpeth is both the source of the area's drinking water supply and the main site of its sewage disposal. At Franklin, the course of the river turns more northwesterly. A few miles northwest of Franklin is the mouth of one of the Harpeth's main tributaries, the West Harpeth, which drains much of the southern portion of Williamson County. Near this site is an antebellum plantation house called Meeting of the Waters. The river in this area flows quite near the Natchez Trace. The river shortly crosses into Davidson County and receives the flow of the Little Harpeth River, another important tributary. The stream flows near the unincorporated Nashville suburb of Bellevue and shortly after this flows into Cheatham County. The course of the river in Cheatham County is very meandering. A few miles into Cheatham County, it is joined by another major tributary, the South Harpeth, which drains some of the southwestern portion of Davidson County, southeastern Cheatham County, and a small portion of northwesternmost Williamson County. In Cheatham County is a remarkable civil engineering feat of the early 19th century. Ironmaster Montgomery Bell built an iron mill near the narrows of the Harpeth, largely through the use of slave labor of African Americans. Out of 7 Mile Horseshoe Bend, Bell's slaves cut a tunnel through approximately 200 yards of solid rock. They used black powder blasting techniques to build a diversion tunnel to power the mill, which Bell called Patterson Forge, after his mother's maiden name. Bell was so pleased with his mill that he curtailed some of his other area operations and built a home near the site. Today, the diversion tunnel and some slag are about all that remain of his mill operation. The Montgomery Bell Tunnel is a historic civil engineering landmark. Also at the narrows of the Harpeth is a prehistoric site known as Mount Bottom, noted for the complex earthwork constructions built from 950 and occupied into the 15th century. This area has several ceremonial and burial earthwork mounds of the Native American Mississippian culture, which preceded those historic tribes of the area known to European encounter. Bell's diversion tunnel and the sheer bluffs nearby are now part of the narrows of the Harpeth section of Harpeth River State Park, a linear park connecting several natural, historic, and archaeological sites along the lower Harpeth. For this historic site, the flow becomes generally more northerly, but still greatly meandering. The Harpeth soon forms the line between Dickson and Cheatham counties for the last part of its course. A few miles above the mouth are what are known as the Three Islands. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers proposed siting a dam near this location on several occasions and did some preliminary study. It was not supported by a favorable cost-benefit ratio and the project was never built. The lower portion of the Harpeth is very popular with canoeists, supporting canoe outfitting and related businesses. The mouth of the Harpeth into the Cumberland is near Ashland City, the Cheatham County seat. Near the mouth is a bridge on State Route 49 named in Montgomery Bell's honor. The mouth is just below the Cumberland's Harpeth Island, and is somewhat submerged by the backwaters of the Corpse Cheatham Dam. With the planned removal of the Lowhead Dam in the city of Franklin, the The Harpeth will be Middle Tennessee's second longest unimpounded stream. The lower portion of the Harpeth is designated as a scenic river under the Tennessee Scenic Rivers Act. Name. The origin of the name Harpeth is controversial. It is often cited in the area that it is named for the legendary outlaw brothers of the early 19th century in the area, the Harp brothers, Big Harp and Little Harp. This is erroneous, as the name exists on maps and documents predating their fame. A late 18th century map published in London purportedly shows the stream as the Fair Path. There is some dissension about whether the name is of Native American origin or perhaps a corruption of the rather common English name Harper. There is no dispute that the title of the song Harper Valley PTA by Tom T. Hall is derived from this stream, indirectly. Hall, long an area resident, says that the song's name derives from Harpeth Valley Elementary School in Davidson County near Bellevue, but he also states that the song was definitely not based on any occurrence there, rather, he simply liked the sound of it. Bernard de la Harpe sailed into Mobile Bay in 1719 under French flag to locate a port and center for the Southwest Territory which the French claimed, as well as the Mississippi Basin and Ohio Valley to Quebec. De la Harpe kept journals and made maps which were published about 1750, and the maps were used by Lewis and Amp Clark in their explorations. De la Harpe included Tennessee in the Cherokee Villages region. While there is no label on the Harpeth River by de la Harpe, he is the logical source for the name. Some references to the Fair Path name were known to be referred to as a hair path because of the winding way of the stream. Most of the previous references are pure fiction. Before English settlements, what is now Nashville was known as French Lick and there was a French presence. Even the headwaters of the Harpeth flow from a hill called Versailles. See Bernard de la Harpe. See USGS map. Another possible origin for the name of the Harpeth River was presented by Edward D. Hicks in a paper read before the Tennessee Historical Society and published by the American Historical Magazine in 1900. Hicks comments upon the influence of classical literature read by learned gentlemen in the 18th century. One source popular among many in the English-speaking world, including America, was The Spectator, published by Joseph Addison. The Spectator contained articles on philosophy, morals and the classics. In publication number 584, printed in 1714, is found the antediluvian love story of Philippa, Harpeth and Shalom. Harpeth comes to an untimely end, drowning in a river as he attempted to cross it. The river is called to this day from his name, who perished in it, the river Harpeth. Hicks does not offer the claim that this is the definitive origin of the name, however he does say it is certainly appropriate. I submit it as the most probable and ingenious theory I can suggest. Quote, it should be noted that early 18th century maps, including Matthew Carey's 1795 map of Tennessee as well as that of John Reed Imley's American Topography, Ara Smith, and Stockdale, use the spelling Harpeth River, which differs from the modern spelling of Harpeth. The exception is John Russell's 1794 map of the Southwest Territory, published in London circa 1794. The earliest known written reference is found in the Diary of John Lipscomb. His July 1784 entry mentions the Harpeth River. In addition, contemporary historian Virginia Bowman gives credence to Hicks' theory in her comprehensive book on early sites and homes of Williamson County, Tennessee. River access. Common put-ins, takeouts. Kingston Springs, TN, an area for canoe access in Cheatham County, west of Nashville. Turkey Creek, approx. 430 Kingston Springs Road. Kingston Springs City Park, 548 Old Pinnacle Hill Road. Gossett Tract, approx 1240 Cedar Hill Road, the Narrows of the Harpeth, plenty of signs, info. Cedar Hill Road, approx. 1692 Cedar Hill Road, Franklin, Tennessee. Fieldstone Park, approx. 2194 Fieldstone Parkway, Meeting of the Waters, approx. 3176 Del Rio Pike, The Robe Swing, Old Natchez Trace, Moran Road, HWI 100 approx.